Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Ironheart, Riri Williams, Ironheart, issue number 3. This was a good book. There's something in here that annoyed the F out of me. I actually had to put the book down, walk away. I started reading another book instead, but I came back to it, and I'm cool with it, and it got a whole lot better. But still gonna have to talk about that moment. In the meantime, let's talk about who made this book. So we got Riri Williams, Ironheart. Eve L. Ewing is the writer. Luciano Vecchio is the artist. Jaffo Layouts. Matt Mila, color artist. VC's Clayton Cowles, letterers and production. Amy Reeder, she did the cover. Alright, so let's get into this bad boy. Special thanks to Brian Michael Bendis, Mike Diodato Jr., and Stefano Caselli, for creating the character. So Riri is doing a little bit of a flashback. I really like when they do the flashbacks. I love when they do the flashbacks for Riri. Because we do need more of her past. We need to understand more of what makes her tick. But, it's back with her friend Deja. And, she's learning more about her. I don't know. We're learning more about her. We flash back to the present day. And Xavier comes into her room and is hanging out with Riri. They're chilling out. They're trying to figure out some kind of a pattern to the rash of thefts, cell phone thefts, laptop thefts, electronics thefts, and things like this. Turns out the character is actually a character who we've seen before in the comic books. To be entirely honest, I don't know the character that well, but I do know that he's existed in the comic books before. He has been an Iron Man villain before. Whatever is what it is. Hopefully, Eve Ewing can make this a better character that actually remains memorable to me. And this was a really good way to do it, too. The only way that Riri won, if you could even call it that, I guess you can call it that, is through fear. Meanwhile, she's talking about how she's got to stop letting fear run her life. No, you're right. You're correct. You do need to stop letting fear rule your life. Fortunately, your fight or flight kicked in at just the right moments. So, yay, we've still got Riri around. Flashing back to this PTSD type inducing moment of her with Thanos is probably the best idea that anyone could possibly use for Riri. I don't know if it was what's his name? I should probably ask him. I don't know if that was Jim Zub's idea or if it was Eve Ewing's idea to do this. I think it was Zub's idea just based on the timing, but again, I don't know the behind the scenes, and I never asked anybody who would, so I'm just speculating. But the whole idea of Riri having this moment with Thanos, that it keeps coming back to her, lots of things remind her of that moment, it's really breaking her down as a human. God, I love this storytelling. I don't feel like this could get any better. There was a moment here with Riri Williams' mom. I thought it was great. I know it's Riri's mom, but I had a friend when I was younger. His grandma would act a lot like this. Riri's mom is way cooler than my buddy's grandma was, but yeah, she would say things like I read in this comic book, man, where she's like, blah, 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 blah. Don't make me embarrass you in front of company. Don't make me embarrass you in front of company after all that. You ever hear somebody give you their life story and then afterwards they're like, so to make a long story short, what does everybody in the room say? Too late. So when Riri's mom is sitting there talking about, oh, hey, blah, 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 and I'm going to ream you up one wall across the ceiling and down the other wall, but, I don't want to embarrass you in front of company. Too late. Dying. This moment right on the same freaking page, right above it, where Riri sends her AI to go and take notes at MIT. Aren't you going to take notes? I am taking notes. Aren't you going to mind your business? Yes! I come from a world where cold disses are the norm, where everybody knows all the mama jokes. And it's only when you get creative that you actually have a chance to win at mama jokes. You know what I'm saying? Dude, just, I'm saying, look, for the sake of conversation up in here. All right, bang. Just one of my absolute favorite characters. You guys get to see my one tripod. I love Riri. I love Riri's character. I love everything about this character. Just fantastic, and it's only getting better. What do you call? Oh, and the next issue. Next issue. Oh, God, the art on this is just. Ooh, the art in the book itself is freaking amazing. There's some really cool moments in here. I don't want to give away the main character. God, I could give away so much of this book just showing you a couple pages of the book, man. Beautiful book, but it's your responsibility to go out and buy the book. I'm just saying. But I do want to still mention one part in this book. Look, if you're new to the channel, you don't know this, but yes, I teach English currently. I used to be a university professor teaching English as a second language overseas, but that being the case, prior to that, I did teach regular school, and I particularly enjoyed teaching STEM. My background, my first studies, my first university studies are in electrical engineering, and while I am not a physicist, I've had to take more than my fair share of physics classes. And I don't say that in a begrudging way. I loved physics. I'm one of those nerds, all right? In the very beginning of this book, I read this and I had to put the book down. Like, I was so mad. I was so mad when I read this. Riri talks about the first lesson she learned when she was in third grade that involves physics is that liquid is glass. Glass is liquid. Durr. How's that for reverse osmosis for you? But anyway, she learned that glass is actually a liquid. Oh, the molecules move so slow. Yeah. Everything about that was right except for the main statement. Glass is liquid. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's certainly not a solid, but it does shift more towards the solids than the liquids. That's just the way it works, okay? Here's the thing. I actually took physics classes when I was in university, before I went for my business degree, before I started doing my master's studies. But the point is, when you go to university and you study physics, you learn that almost everything that you learned back in high school is effing wrong. All right? You learn that there's more than 5 senses, like a lot more than 5 senses. Aristotle's like the dumbest smart guy I've ever read about. You learn that, amongst other things, there's more than 3 states of matter. We're talking about the molecular bonds that hold together molecules. There's not just solid, liquid, gas. There's more than 3. Okay? Glass is not a liquid, although it is a solid. It's a solid more than it's a liquid. Albeit, you have to say but. It's a solid but. You get it? It's a solid. However, the trick of it is there are not only 3 states of matter. Light does actually have mass. The discovery of the Higgs, we already knew about the Higgs boson, but the proof of the Higgs boson, all right, it's just everything that you learn, even in those AP classes back in high school, they're not going to equate what you're going to learn in university. Even though I studied this stuff in university, I know this stuff. When I read that, I still did this thing that so many people don't do. I looked at my supercomputer. I looked at my phone. I did a quick look and I was like, hold on a second. And I looked it up really quick just to make sure, because I could be wrong. I don't know how anybody could make a statement in a comic book in regards to science. Maybe Miss Ewing simply doesn't have the respect for science and STEM that I do, because, yeah, that's crucial in my life, all right, as far as my desire to make sure that people can believe in angels, but understands that believing something isn't a fact. Facts are facts, all right? You can believe in whatever you want to believe, but don't start altering facts, all right? Research. Look up what you state, all right? Otherwise, you get some 4chan ideology that the earth is freaking flat, because that would be funny to try and make people believe. So goddamn disappointing. To understand just the idea, to really try and pique your interest, if you are interested in the sciences, answer this one question. What state of matter, solid, liquid, or gas, is fire? All of a sudden the world ceases to make sense, right? now studied even further and realized that there's more than one different state of matter within a flame. I hate, and it really takes me out of a comic book, I hate when a statement is made matter-of-factly about science, any of the sciences, and it's just inherently wrong. The understanding is inherently wrong. Root knowledge, wrong. Because we live in a world where we do have these supercomputers in our hands. We do have these incredible devices that have all the knowledge collected in human history within it, for the most part. And yet somehow, and they're a whole lot lighter than all your books, you know what I'm saying? Not as light as a library card, but close enough. If you can even find a library today. It bothers me when people get things wrong about science and they don't just simply look it up. I mean, this was such an easy thing to do, but there's going to be a lot of kids kids who find this comic book very influential. They're going to see it and they're going to start going around preaching something that is wrong from beginning to end, through and through, where somebody's going to say, well, actually, the way that it really works is, and these kids aren't going to listen because they just learned something. It's in their head. And someone they respect, Miss Eve Ewing, just basically lied to them. I know. Well, she didn't mean to lie. A lie's a lie, bruh. A lie's a lie. Mistakes were made. There was a mistake made here. And it just, again, it probably doesn't bother most people. To me, this is like a cardinal sin. This was the easiest thing in the world to just look up and verify, double check, as opposed to saying, oh yeah, glass is a liquid. No, it's not. And at the end of the day, it's one of those things that's just so beleaguering. I mean, you could hold glass in your hand, see that it is solid, it will break. If you break it, it doesn't melt, okay? What is the very definition of a liquid? Something that fills a container. It takes the shape of whatever container it's in. Does glass do that? If you break glass up into, its smaller forms, does it match that quality? No, it does not. It does not. Because the more you look at it on a microscopic level, you might as well say that sand in and of itself before it turns into freaking glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just think about what it's made from. Sorry, I hate when simple mistakes like this are made that could have longer lasting effects on people and their ability to learn. Because if you have someone who you respect a great deal in a position of authority tell you something, and somebody who actually knows what they're talking about tries to correct them, most people aren't going to change their mind about that. You don't believe me? Look at our freaking president. Anyway, guys, I'm done. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.